In this video, I chat about why I chose tubeless tires for my 1977 Land Cruiser HJ45 over the steel split rims. Hi, I'm Francois from adventurebiketroop.com, where we are currently on an adventure, but not on a bike, in a troopie. Now, when I bought this Land Cruiser, this old 1977 troopie, it still had the split rims on it, the original wheels, and I love the look of it. But since we were going to tour with it, and we are currently on a trip, we've done 2,000 kilometers already, we are very far from home, I had to decide, am I going to stick with the tubeless or the tubed tires, the tubed steel split rims, and just replace the tires, or am I going to switch over to tubeless tires, which meant changing over to aftermarket steel rims. Now in the end I went for the steel rims, but in this video I'm going to run through the pros and cons of each one and how I made my choice. I don't usually drink on the job, but I am on holiday, so cheers. Okay, so we're going to chat about the pros of the steel split rims first. So number one, they are very hardy. They've got 12-ply thread and 8-ply sidewalls. Where we come from, they're usually used by the lodge industry, tourism industry, to go on game drives in the bush. They go off the tracks into the veld, through the thorns and rocks, and so they are very hardy. They don't tear easily. You don't easily get flat wheels through punctures, and the sidewalls are super strong and super stiff. So that is a big pro, and that is why they are used on these Land Cruisers. And even some of the new pickups still come out with the steel split rims for that reason. Then number two is you can fix them anywhere. So it doesn't matter where you are, someone will be able to take off, and you can even do it yourself with practice. If you are careful, you can split the rim, that's why they call it splitty, and take out the tube inside and then replace the tube. It's very cheap and easy, and you can find it at any tire shop in any small town. Or if you can't find a tube, you can just patch the tube. So it's very easy to fix anywhere by almost anyone. So that is a big pro, and that's also why it's used on farms and in the game industry or the lodge industry, where they often do go off-road and get flat tires, so they don't have to keep replacing or fixing or having the tubeless tires fixed. They can just fix it themselves and patch the tubes. And then number three, the look of it. It's how the Land Cruiser came out, so it looks original with the steel split rims, and I found that they are quite sought after, so I sold mine for more than what I paid for the new steel rims, tubeless rims. So it worked out cheaper for me to put new tubeless tires on new tubeless rims instead of just putting on tubed outer tires on the old split rims. So, but the look of it is a pro for me, and it's more original, and it will mean that the car would probably be worth slightly more because of those steel rims, but they were quite rusted. Anyways, let's look at the pros for the tubeless rims, tubeless tires. The first thing is that you can plug it, so you can just use normal tire plug repair kit, those sticky things that you stick into the hole, and this anyone can do. There's no danger, it's not difficult to do, it's not as big a job as splitting a split rim. Now obviously if it's a sidewall tear you can't, and to plug it, and then you'll have to put in a tube, and then it's very difficult to take the tubeless tire off the rim. It's near impossible with normal tools. But if it's just a normal puncture like a nail, which is very common, usually it's something like a rusted nail, you can just plug the hole and carry on. Very easy. Number two, they don't get hot as easily as a tubed tire. So there's no chafing inside where the tube can chafe. If you run the pressure slightly lower, there's less chance of a blowout. Usually a tubeless tire won't just blow out, it will get a slow puncture or some puncture and start leaking. It's not like a tubed tire where if it chafes and gets hot enough, it could just pop and blow out and could cause a serious problem. So it is safer, in my opinion. Number 3, the tubeless tires are quieter. There's a bigger range to choose from. So with the splitrims, there's a very small selection of tubed outer tires, which is quite hard. So they make a noise. The fuel consumption is more. It's more bumpy. The tire pressure is much higher because of the tubes inside. So the tubeless is much quieter, more comfortable. The fuel consumption is better, and there's a wider range of tires. So I went for an all-purpose, like a dual-purpose tire. Then number 4, you can deflate the tubeless tires way more than a tube tire. You can't run a tubed tire, splitrim, flat. So if you're running in deep sand or corrugated roads where you want a softer tire for a less gnarly ride, you can't deflate it. You have to run the hard tire because of that chafing and getting hot. So this is the tubeless tire. You can run down to 1 bar and it should be fine. Then number 5, it's, if you've seen, just Google splitrim fails. I never Google anything with the name fail in it, but just Google that and you'll never be able to unsee some of the accidents. And once you know about it, I am one of the people who just can't get that out of my mind, and I'll worry every time I sit in front of that wheel, taking it off or working on it. And even in the booklet they say you have to deflate the tires even before you remove the rim from the studs. So once I've seen that warning, I'll always worry about it. So yeah, and that's just me. So anyways, in the end I decided to go for the tubeless. It was an easy choice. I still think it looks alright, and it feels quieter. The fuel consumption is not that bad. Incidentally, our fuel consumption is 8.6 kilometers per liter, which is not that bad for our 2,000 kilometers driving down here at 50-55 miles per hour. So I'm quite happy. Thank you for joining. If you have any questions, if you disagree, if you have any other pros or cons on tubeless or splitrims, please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next week.